the ocean decreases in pH, necessary building blocks for some of the wildlife falters. There are many ways humans contribute to ocean acidification. This is because of the increase in revolutionary technology that releases harmful gases into the atmosphere, which will dissolve into the ocean. Approximately 30 to 40% of all human-created gases that get released into the atmosphere gets dissolved in the ocean. From 1995 to 2010, ocean acidification has risen more than 6%. This has caused an increase in shellfish to not have the required proteins to develop their shells fast enough. As the ocean decreases in pH, necessary building blocks for some of the wildlife falters. Take shellfish, for example. As the pH lowers, the calciums that are needed in order for the shellfish to develop their shells is lost. This will result in a lack of profit for farmers and a lack of necessary nutrients that the shellfish need. Along with the shellfish needing the calcium to build their shells, coral reefs will also fall victim to the same problem. As the calcium is deprived from the ocean, coral reefs lose their color and their structure, making them flimsy and easily breakable. This will result in a loss of habitat for coral dwellers, as well as appeal to tourists who want to view the size of a coral reef.
Rising amounts of CO2 entering that ocean can have a significant impact on the vast wildlife living there. The result is an increase in acidity that damages the basic building blocks of life needed by oysters, clams, corals, and other animals to make their shells and skeletons, as stated by Ocean Conservancy, a group of scientists, lawyers, and stakeholders in the issue.
In an article by Sherry Winter, Sarah Cooley, a postdoctoral researcher at Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution, states, "What goes around comes around. Ocean acidification is definitely an anthropogenic problem, but it will come back and influence human communities. As a stakeholder in the environmental issue, Cooley understands the fact that this potentially deadly issue will harm the fishing and shellfish industries, both major sources of the economy in coastal cities like Seattle." Earlier, we saw how ocean acidification affects the business of some businesses, but that was all from articles. Here we have an interview with Ryan Yokoyama of the Pike's Place Fish Market.
Let's see, I've been here about 10 years now, so yeah, a decade ago. When I first started here, I didn't really like the job. So it was my parents who made me come here. My dad was the manager for a long time. So, but after, a handful of years of me coming back after Christmas, summer, spring break, I realized I have a lot of fun here. It's a place I really feel comfortable. So that's why I've decided to be here for a long time. It's a real good place to work. We work closely with the Monterey Bay Sea Watch program because we sell only sustainable seafood. Yeah. So everything we have is caught and processed in a way that's not going to hurt the environment or the species we're dealing with. So it's all basically you have to go through a lot of steps through the Monterey Bay Sea Watch program in order to be classified as a sustainable provider. And so we've done all that and only work with people who do that as well.
All right, nice.
Most definitely. Smoke red! We haven't seen a ton of it yet, but we've definitely heard about it. Things, I know it wasn't acidification, but things like algae blooms, stuff like that, just totally shortened the crab season for like California and Oregon. They didn't open up until just recently, when typically open up around Christmas time. Yeah,
that's what we're mainly doing our documentary on.
Oh, cool.
Acidification.
Yeah. Not a ton yet. I think only because, a lot of the industry is being on top of it, so they're kind of doing, we'll say, like preventative measures right now before it gets completely terrible. So that's, I think, the only reason why we haven't seen a ton of stuff being affected yet. Like the big thing I've heard is oysters.
Yeah, that's what we really like.
Yeah, a lot of your shellfish like that are affected.
So would you consider the seafood industry a large part of Seattle's economy?
Definitely.
All
Yep.
right, thank you for the interview.
Anytime. Ryan,
thank you. I found out in the interview with Pike Place Fish that there are many local effects of ocean acidification. For example, in the 15-year period between 1995 and 2010, acidity has increased 6% in the upper 100 meters of the Pacific Ocean from Hawaii to Alaska. The shellfish industry would be negatively impacted by this increase in acidification. Especially here in the Pacific Northwest, the seafood industry plays a big role in our state's economy. Former Governor Christine Gregoire says our shellfish industry employs thousands of people and brings in millions of dollars to our state on an annual basis. Continued success depends on healthy ocean water. These are just some of the many effects an increase in ocean acidification can cause. Even though people have started to cut down on their CO2 emissions, we are still seeing the oceans become more acidic. One of the many effects of ocean acidification would be coral bleaching. Of course, whenever someone mentions coral reefs, everyone pictures all the vibrant colors and the exotic fish that live there. However, that may not be the case now or in the near future. At the Great Barrier Reef, extensive aerial surveys and dives have revealed that 93% of the world's largest reef has been devastated by coral bleaching. Not only does the Great Barrier Reef provide tourism in the economy of Australia, but it also provides a habitat for some of the world's most unique and rare species of fish. The Great Barrier Reef generates $4.45 billion in tourism revenue annually and supports nearly 70,000 jobs, according to the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Authority. There are so many economic benefits of the ocean that we need to protect by not contributing to ocean acidification. To make the change that we want to see in our local area, we decided to go to Pike Place Market in Seattle to spread awareness of the problem. Pike Place Market is a fitting place to raise awareness due to the potential effect ocean acidification may have on the seafood industry, which Pike Place is known for. We made flyers that included a simple background on ocean acidification and a couple of easy ways for people to contribute less CO2 into the atmosphere, which is the main cause of ocean acidification. It is more realistic, in our opinion, to try to have a lot of people do a little to reduce ocean acidification, rather than to try and get a big company to try and cut down their contributions to ocean acidification.
About 30 to 40% of it might be the carbon cycle. That can really have a negative effect on shellfish and the seafood industry here in Seattle. And so basically we're doing a documentary for our school on ocean acidification, and these are some like the effects of it, and here are some things like in your everyday life that you can do to help. Just take a flyer and
absolutely.
Yeah, we're trying to spread awareness.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
I go to home high school with my friend Mason over here. We're doing a project on ocean acidification. We're doing a documentary. And so an estimated like 30 to 40% of carbon dioxide is used on activities. And it goes through like the carbon cycle. And it ends up here in the ocean. And it's from like CO2 emissions from our cars and other type of industries and stuff like that. And we're just trying to really limit it because it can have a really major effect on like fish and all the shellfish and crabs and stuff they have. Here it can have like a really bad effect on their calcifies their shells and basically makes them useless and they can't really sell them here in the market. And so we're just trying to do out here raise awareness on it, and if everybody tries to do like something little in their daily life, they really have to actually try to reduce the effects of something. So yeah, thanks for your time. Doing a documentary on ocean acidification. It's basically how it happens is we release carbon dioxide through our industries and our cars, and it goes through the carbon cycle and ends up here in the ocean. And that can have a really bad effect. It can calcify, and basically it ruins like the shell of oysters and other type of like seafood. And that can have like a really bad effect, especially here in like Pike's Place where they sell major amounts of shellfish. And so we're just trying to get out here and raise awareness on it, and here's some like everyday things that you can do to decrease your CO2 emissions, and really, if everybody does that, we can really cut down and trying to not contribute to ocean acidification.
It would be that we narrowed down.
Alright, thank you for your time.
Yeah. The first way would be getting people to try and carpool with others. The other option was to try and make people's houses airtight so they don't have to release CO2 trying to either heat or cool their house. For carpooling, schools and workplaces should encourage and maybe even offer incentives for carpooling. This would make people much more motivated than they currently are to carpool, and it would vastly help the reduction of CO2 emissions. The other way would be to not release CO2 by either heating or cooling people's houses. Simply making sure to close the doors all the way or putting a draft insulator under doors would solve the problem. This will not only keep the house at a more constant temperatures where the owners of the house don't have to pay as much, but it will also help reduce CO2 emissions, which contribute to ocean acidification. Even though we have created this problem of ocean acidification, there are easy ways for us to try and save the ocean.